17 minutes after the hour now. Betty Hutton was once a major movie star, but with the demise of the lavish Hollywood musical, her career moved on into unhappy retirement, failed marriages, drugs, a suicide attempt. But now she has a new life as official greeter for the High Sports Center in Newport, Rhode Island. And Pat Collins talked to Betty about the way her once glamorous life came apart.
During your career, you earned about $9 million. Where did it go?
It went to people, you know, bankrupt marriages and in trying to buy happiness. And you can't do it. You know, I would do anything. If I could have bought it, I would have. That was the only way I knew how. You know, if somebody wanted a Cadillac or a fur coat, fine, if they'd love me and be kind to me, you know. But it doesn't work out, Pat.
What was your last movie?
Let's see, Greatest Show. Somebody Loves Me was the last one that I did. The one you remember, The Greatest Show on Earth.
Yes.
And Annie were the last two big ones.
Yeah, and then Somebody Loves Me.
Right.
And somewhere around there, it was the fellow you were married to wanted to direct your next movies.
Yeah.
And you quit over that. You walked out kind of on Hollywood at that point.
Right.
Was that the reason you walked out, or did you have an inkling this isn't for me anymore?
No, it just, things weren't going. That was a problem, too, is each husband seemed to want something that I couldn't deliver, like he wanted to be a director, and I was trying to make him one, but see, that then hurt my work, because that's very bad to walk in and say, I want my husband to direct, or I want my husband to co-star, what the heck ever. But now you're pressured in the marriage. He's mad unless you help him, and that's happened. In my last marriage to Pete Condola, he wanted to conduct on the stage for me. And this is a bad number. You know, he's not great. It just doesn't work. I have to be alone when I'm working. There's no one can share that particular spotlight with me. I don't mean you can't have other people. I'm just saying in your family, you can't have someone else in that
riding your way.
Yeah, right.
And do you regret going to bat for him now? Do you think if you had to do it?
No, it wasn't. It was a very bad idea then, and I told him so. It doesn't work. It didn't work for our marriage, and the marriage was destroyed. What he didn't like was that when he married me, I was a star, and within a couple of years, I wasn't, and he didn't like that. And, you know, so that's okay. It's groovy. They marry you because you're a star, and then I guess when you lose that image, you aren't the thing that they fell in love with. Don't you see? They didn't fall in love with me, the me you're talking to.
That's right. They fell in love with the 8.5 by 11 glossy photo.
Right. And they can't be faulted for that because they do see all this. And all of a sudden, I really fully realize now, I don't think I knew who the hell I was anymore. It really gets confusing. The part you play and all the attention you get. And I made $100,000 a week in Vegas, and you know, it was phenomenal kind of money. It blows your mind what goes on. And then this little person when the show's over standing there saying, oh my God, where did everybody go? Every night. Terrified inside of me. It's every night that I was the big star. I was just that scared inside.
What was the lowest point in your life?
Well, just before I came here, I think when Pete was going with Edie Adams, and we were married, I didn't know it. And Carrie and I, my little girl, she was only then about 10, we were sitting on the bed, and Rona Barrett came on the air and announced that Pete was engaged to Edie Adams.
Oh.
Well,
that was a surprise.
Yeah, that really blew my mind. I tried to kill myself, and that's when, you know, people started to say very bad things about me. But, you know, I had been so strong, you know, supposedly all my life, and I really tried to be the strong person. But I broke. You know, I couldn't take any more. And that was meant to be, too, you know.
Yes, I guess if you had played weak, weepy women on the screen,
yes, it would have been okay.
They would have been okay. But since you were always, you know, cheery and buoyant
and strong,
lifted everybody else up.
Right.
You know, the public reacts in funny ways.
Well, even my own daughters, you know, resented when I wasn't the strong one anymore, the driver. They didn't realize it, but I saw it in their faces, you know. I was no longer in the driver's seat, you know. So that image had to be destroyed. And whether my daughters ever see me again, and I hope they see, I want to see my grandchildren. I'd love to see Lindsay and Candy, but if I'm not supposed to, then I won't. But I hope that they can forgive me, you know, for becoming ill, which I did. I became very ill, and they couldn't understand it, literally could not understand it. they were ashamed of me, and I don't blame them. I shouldn't have fallen apart like that, you know.
But they should have it in their hearts to forgive, too.
I hope so, because I was I could understand how my daughters could not accept it or understand it. I was a total nightmare to them, and they couldn't understand that my heart was broken to pieces. There was nothing left. I didn't want to live, and I really tried. And if I hadn't gotten here, gee, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I wouldn't have made it, you know.
the best thing is that you have
see, they
made
didn't
it.
expect me to be so super great here. These people, you know, took me in their homes, their little homes, and held me in their arms, and kissed me and hugged me back to life. And that's New England, boy, and I'm never going to leave it. Thank you.
We'll be back in just a little while.